Hello, welcome Heartrepreneurs and Heartrepreneur family. So I'm actually going to do a little introduction because this is someone who is near and dear to my heart, someone that I consider a very close friend. And oh my gosh, we've probably been on the journey for decades. I first came across Andy so many years ago when I was in my coaching business. And during that time, I needed a copywriter. And I couldn't find copywriters who really got my voice or how I speak. Andy instantaneously got me. And his emails worked fantastically for me. And Andy, like me, has transitioned in many different ways over the years. So I wanted you to get to meet my friend Andy, who's going to create massive value for you. And you might be surprised at what he's up to these days. Andy, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Terry, it's great to have you have me on here. I really appreciate it.
I have to share you. I always have to share you. I know many of my client family members know who you are, and they don't know exactly what you're up to these days. So here you go. It's your stage, my friend.
Well, and feel free to chime in, as I'm sure you will. And because it's all really casual, the way that I put this stuff out there, and a lot of stream of consciousness stuff, but
love it.
The thing is, I have been up to a lot lately. I actually am in the middle of a challenge. I'm doing a Get Your Emails Done challenge right on Facebook. I'm in day 2 of it, and I'm doing a call right after this one to help people, you guessed it, get their emails done. So that goes on until tomorrow. But on top of that, I'm starting a new group. Terry actually gave me some great advice. She said you should start a group, and so I'm about to do it. It's going to be Heart-Centered Persuasion, which will show people how to write and communicate with their ideal clients and customers, and in a way that really resonates with their core beliefs and helps them to deliver their message more uniquely, more authentically. And I'll be doing a lot of videos and live streams and giving a lot of tips and adding all kinds of files and templates and all kinds of cool stuff. So more to come on that. So that's happening. And of course, I'm writing
copy. To that for 1 second. He writes amazing copy. If you're on my email list, he's been my secret weapon. Andy, I just have to say, I think one of the most important skill sets that business owners need are the ability to write emails. Emails make all the difference, and it is the lowest cost form of marketing. And if you don't write good emails, people simply unsubscribe. They don't raise their hands for your offers. So I just wanted to say, I love the fact that you're providing this course. I think that anyone who wants to have more impact, more influence, and more income, go through this course. Sorry to interrupt. It just felt important.
No, I appreciate it. And I'm glad you mentioned the course, because the course is the Persuasion Protocol, and that's also newly released. So yeah, a lot going on. But you're right. The email issue is front and center because a lot of people these days just feel like they are hesitant to put any emails out there because the ones that they get are so yucky and salesy and sketchy, and they don't want to be that person. So they just don't send any out, or they just take too long to write them. They become perfectionists. They don't feel like what they're writing is authentic enough to put out there, and they don't want to be that sketchy person. Yeah. So then the default is just not do anything. So what I'm going to do is show you how to do, awesome. How to write non-salesy copy, okay. And really stay true to your core beliefs. Because when you do that, you change the whole dynamic of your sales approach. You don't sell anymore. You're actually guiding someone. You're coaching them. So when you're able to do that, you create a whole different kind of rapport with your reader, and it sets you apart because nobody else is doing that. So everyone else is all hypey and salesy. And just go through your inbox for a minute. It's like I delete 99% of my emails.
I actually want to make a comment on that, because I'm glad that you said that. I signed up for somebody's email newsletter, I don't know, the other day. And I remember seeing this little line that says, don't sign up if you don't want to receive an email every day. Now, I know a lot of people use that email every day formula, and that's when I hit unsubscribe. I signed up just for kicks. I've received 22 emails. I think I signed up Thursday. Okay, 22. And I'm just watching this as a process, right? I have no intention of buying or engaging. And every one of them has had zero content and value. They've all been an offer. So I just wanted to remind people, you really need to understand how to make an offer, how to create value. And I recommend firmly that you sit in the chair of your zone of brilliance. While I write copy occasionally for client family members, and while I ghostwrite books and write my own books, I'm being transparent 99.99% of the time. I don't write my emails. Andy does, right? He knows how to speak in my voice. He understands persuasion, and at the same time, how I wouldn't be in someone's face selling, how I want to create value. So I really want you to think about that. If you're learning to do all kinds of things, take a look at what is your zone of brilliance. When you go through a course, you can enhance your zone of brilliance and your writing, and your emails can be more effective. There you go.
Cool. That's great. And thank you, for mentioning that. And it really rings true with what I'm saying, because one of the things you need to do, like when you do go through your inbox and you look at all this stuff that comes to you every day, what I'd like you to do is try thinking more like a marketer or a student of marketing when you're looking through all your emails. So instead of going delete, delete, delete with all your emails, look at them with more of a keen eye and say, okay, I don't like this subject line. Why? Why does this subject line not do it for me? Why am I not opening this email? And then at the same time, you create a column of subject lines like that. But then at the same time, you say, okay, I'm going to open this email, and then you stop yourself and say, why am I opening this? What compelled me to open this email? It was probably the subject line. And then go and look at it, cut and paste it, and put it in a separate column that you might be keeping for subject lines. Because let me tell you, subject lines are really important. If you don't get your emails open, none of the stuff you say in the email even matters. So the subject line really is everything. So you have to go and look at those subject lines and just pick them out. Say, okay, I didn't open this subject line because, for whatever reason, and list the reasons. And then even more importantly, check out all the subject lines, make a note of the reasons why you're opening certain emails. It could be, of course, they're from a friend, so that doesn't count. But if they're from, like, let's say a marketer that you trust, and you look at their subject line in a different way because you trust them. But what about somebody you don't know? And you just say, okay, they're saying something that really resonates with me. It really rings true with what I'm going through or the desires I have. And this is doing it for me. I'm going to not only open it, but I'm going to write that subject line down so I can use some hybrid of that in my own emails. So you can do that ongoing. Just be a student of marketing as you're looking through your inbox every day. Also, you want to get to really know your target audience on a deeper level. And I know the whole client avatar thing, and that's really good. It's important to get to know your client, but I'm talking about really getting to know them. Like picture yourself having lunch with your client, like your ideal client, the number one person that you'd most like to have in your life. And what types of things do you think they do? Like, what do they do for a living? What keeps them up at night? Of course, that's a cliche, but what keeps them up all night? What is their driving force? What are their passions? What are their biggest challenges and pain points? And on top of that, to kind of dovetail off of that, what do you do? What do you bring to the mix uniquely to solve those challenges? And I know you probably are already thinking about these things in the back of your mind, but you need to really push those to the front if you're going to write emails the right way. Because one of the first things I do when I get a new client is I really grill them about this stuff. Tell me about your target audience. What are they struggling with? And how do you resolve those struggles in your unique way? Because you're going to stand out. Not only are you going to stand out with your heartfelt and compassionate copy, but you're also going to stand out because you get them. You empathize with what they're going through, and you're going to display that empathy in the copy that you put out there. And so that's really been really helpful to me as a copywriter, because I get to know my client's target on a really deep level. And when you do that, the target, your ideal client will feel like, wow, this person really gets me. And even if it's like the first email in their inbox, they're going to open it and they're going to act on something that you give them. But Terry, you made a good point. You said to add content. You need to, it can't just be, promotion, buy my stuff every day. It's got to be something that they can actually use and put to use in their life and benefit from. And once they do that, once they see your content, they're going to open up more stuff from you.
Exactly.
So, when it comes time.
Yeah, I'll just say something for folks. I keep on my computer, I have a file just called swipe copy. And anytime I get an email and I go, oh, like I open that, or that subject line caught me, or look at all the value, I just keep all of these under swipe copy. So when I need to write an email or I need to do one for a client, I don't have to be quite as creative, and I already know what works or what speaks to me, and my target market usually is me. So I suggest that. The other thing, Andy, my clients and I use CoSchedule. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I actually am.
I figured you were. We all use it. We check our headlines to make sure that these are good headlines. And then we use Keep, whatever you use, MailChimp or whatever. We also make sure that our headlines aren't going to get caught in spam filters. So there's a lot of pieces to writing copy. And one other thing that I just want to go back to, when I get emails that have high value, like there's content in there that's juicy, not only do I keep that, I typically go click on something, the person's website, their webinar, their free checklist, their template, their download. When I get the spammy ones, I am so quick at that unsubscribe button. So I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm just sharing.
Oh, no, it's a good point. It's unsubscribes are the worst. And it's just, I feel like, okay, what did one email I put out last month, it was a giveaway and somebody reported it as spam. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. I gave out a free gift a couple of years ago, like a big one on my birthday. And we had about 56,000 people on the list. 3 people reported that as spam. I'm like, why did you sign up to be on my newsletter?
Right.
It's interesting. All right, anyway, go ahead. I won't interrupt for a bit.
No, you're good. So one thing I did want to mention is, and I like to tell my clients this all the time, your testimonials are an emotional goldmine. And by that, I mean, one of the ways that you make sales is by tapping into the emotions of your reader. So I can't think of any better way to do that than by mining my testimonials. I go through every testimonial, especially the long ones, when I'm writing copy for somebody, because in those testimonials are some of the biggest emotional outcomes that you'll ever see. I mean, you can come up with your own emotional elements for your copy, but all you have to do is go to your testimonials and they're right there. These are the after effects of people who have already worked with you. And a lot of them, I mean, I'm sure you're good at what you do, so you probably have some gushing testimonials. So I know I've seen so many of Terry's testimonials and they're awesome. I mean, you could create so much just from some of the adjectives and verbs that people have put in when writing about you and their experiences with you. And it's just so cool. Not only is it a great ego boost, but it's also, like if you're having a bad day, you're like, why am I doing this? Just go through your testimonial and, you see that, wow, I've actually made a difference. I've changed some lives here. And, but you can really grab some cool nectar that you can use in your copy just by looking through some of those things. Not only do they have the positive emotional outcomes, but they also have proof. They have the proof that what you're doing works, whether it's your coaching or your program or your whatever course you might have. These people, if they've gone through it and it's worked for them, there's the proof right there. You can use them everywhere, your testimonials. You can expand them for case studies. And also the testimonials give you some really cool insight into your target's desires. Like, what did they want before? And then how did you solve it? And then how do they feel now? And a really good testimonial will include all those things. Plus, when you have testimonials on like your website, your sales page, your landing page, whatever, or in your emails, it gives your prospect a comfort level for working with you. It takes away the risk, because they've already seen the outcome that they're looking for in the story of someone else. So it's a nice way for you to give a comfort level with someone, who has to make that leap with you. If they just look at the stories of some of the people who've already been down that road, it's a great thing. So, you can mine these testimonials for clues into what you're doing best so that you can keep doing it. So it's the testimonials are really important. Also, another thing I want to really touch on is the storytelling aspect. And I know telling stories is really hot right now. I see all kinds of Facebook ads for sell with your story and all these things. And that's because, the story, your story works like nothing else. I mean, it's your own hero's journey, and if you can tell your story in a compelling way that resonates with your reader. So what you want to do is try your best to connect your story with the story of your target audience. Like, chances are, I mean, maybe you got into what your line of work, like your coaching, the way that you do your coaching, you might have gotten into that because maybe you were once in that mode yourself. A lot of people who are coaches ended up being coaches went through the same struggles as their clients are going through. So if you tell that story in a way that your ideal client can resonate with, man, you're off to the races. I mean, they'll be like, wow, they really understand what I'm going through, and they came out clean on the other side. And and so they're going to want to experience the same results.
Yeah. I always say to my clients, write as if you're the client that you're speaking to. So don't be like, hi, all. Hi, folks. Hi, friend. Talk to one person, because there's one person receiving your correspondence in your email. And then use their words. Like you said, like there are certain words that my prospective client family members and my client family members use. There are certain things that they say. I take their words. I literally have a working Google Doc with, they said this. One of the words that came up a lot recently was, I say resonate quite a bit, and some of my clients say oscillate. I'm like, well, kind of has the same thing. That's a cool word. So I sit back and I listen. I do way more listening. And then I incorporate and I think, what if I was this prospect? So Andy talked about like what keeps somebody up at night. I don't know. I have to ask people. What keeps you up? What keeps you? And then I get a feel for that. And then I can address that. I also want to think about what's the one result they want to get, which is why I asked the one result question. And what can I give them, no or low cost, risk-free, that will help them see that I have solutions for them. So I think those things are important. I just wanted to jump in with that.
Yeah, actually, it's so weird that we're on the same wavelength, Terry.
No, it is. We've been years.
You just touched on like the last two things I wanted to talk about. One was piling on the value in unexpected ways in your emails, like, or even on, however you're communicating with them. Because when you can really establish a true sales moment that's not hypey or in your face, you create no-brainer scenarios. And I can't think of a better no-brainer scenario than to have unexpected gifts or bonuses or things they weren't planning on seeing from you. So really just give things they're not expecting. And if you could, if you're like, let's say you have a landing page and you have an email that you're sending people to that page, see if you can add up the dollar amounts of everything you're delivering in your package. If you have bonuses, put dollar amounts next to each one. And if those add up to, a really big amount, and what you're actually asking for, the dollar amount, whether it's 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, whatever, if that is dwarfed by the total value of what you're putting out there, then that creates a scenario like, wow, I can't believe I'm getting this deal. Take my money, please.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I agree.
so
That people who are going through in this Facebook group right here, the Done For You Digital Marketing Group, many of them are taking advantage of my automated 5-day challenge. And as they're going through it, they're posting their home play and I'm helping them. And a lot of them are also taking me up on the offer because it's worth so much more. It's almost ridiculous. And Brendan put in stuff that, even kicked it over the top. Regina is giving sessions for these people to kickstart them. I go on and on. And so what I hear from people, Andy, a lot is it was such a no-brainer. We even call it on the landing page, no-brainer offer. It was such a no-brainer because as I started to add this up, I went, this is ridiculous. How can I not do this? So I love that you brought that up.
Oh, good. And the only other thing I was going to mention is to survey people, ask them what they want. If you're not sure what your target audience wants, just do, some type of like 1 or 2 question survey. And in an email, just say, the subject line could just say, I need your help. And that is the subject line that gets so many opens, you wouldn't believe it. Because people naturally, it taps into a human emotion of wanting to help someone. And it's just amazing. So if you say, I need your help, and then you go into the reason why you're asking for them to fill out this very quick survey, and you should say that, just a 2-question or a 2-minute survey, a 30-second survey, whatever. And then, you can get some real good information, some great intel from your target. And then you can take that and run with it. It can clarify your benefits for your writing. It can lead you to more case studies. It can actually, if you survey your past clients, you can get future business from that because they'll be like, oh yeah, I meant to write you about a project I'm working on that I need your help with or whatever. So if you send your survey out, it's a great way to get back in touch with people. So there's a lot of ways that it helps. It's just so many different cool things about surveys that you should just do. And they're so easy. Do JotForm or SurveyMonkey or whatever.
I'm glad you said that because one of the things that I do teach at the boot camp, and all my clients know this, is go ask, the one result that people want. There's a lot of people teaching this concept of, just take whatever you're passionate about and it'll become profitable. I might be passionate about Jell-O molds and my audience could care less, right? So I don't find that to be factual. I find that to be a lovely hobby, not a way to make a living. When your audience tells you what they want, all you need to do is fulfill it because they're already raising their hands. You don't have to convince them and sell them. So if I send out a survey and I say, I'm looking for some help, if I could give you one result and only one result, let's say I'm a chiropractor with your physical health, what would that be? People, they respond to that. I get tons of responses to those emails. So there's engagement. We're in a conversation. B, after they give me the input, I can send them another email. I could thank them. I could even give them a gift, which is typically what I do I didn't even tell them I was going to do that because I want to wow them. And we find 2 things happen. Our engagement rate of opening our emails goes up, which we're all looking for. And the second thing that happens is a number of people go over to one of my websites or they download the gift and they ask for some more help. And so I have recalled and reactivated client family members that way. And I've re-engaged people. I had somebody recently, Andy, he signed up to be a new client family member and said, I have been in your email list for 29 years. So you never know, where somebody's at or when they're ready. Pay
Wow.
attention.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
So I just would like, I mean, if I had to say one, probably the most important thing in all of this with emails is spend more time writing your subject line, because that's really everything. And there's just so many, you really have like just 3 seconds between like someone sees the subject line and decides, and that's actually pushing it, probably less than that. Between the time someone actually sees your subject line and decides whether they want to open it or not, that it's like between 1 and 3 seconds. And the rest of your text is at the mercy of how good your subject line is. So you have to grab attention, but you can't scream for attention. So, subject lines like using special characters or personalize it or use some lists or say that you're going to give them something or the ask for help. So there's a lot of ideas you can pull from, but write like 10 to 20 subject lines and narrow it down. And do this all the time, because really the rest of your email doesn't matter if they're not going to open it. So
it's funny you said that. I just hired someone, and when I was talking to him last week, I said, I don't remember how I met you. And he said, I do. And I'm like, how? He said, I found your email address on LinkedIn. I sent you an email that said, Terry, I would like to help you with this thing that he does. I never even read his email. So I remember I didn't read the email. I'm being upfront. I responded back and said, how can you help me? And he said, here's a calendar link. I promise in 5 minutes, you'll know if it's a fit or not. Well, I could take 5 minutes. It was like the first minute, and it's the same as you and I, like just, I'll use my client's words, oscillated instantaneously and went, I actually think he could help Heartrepreneur Agency. And before he was finished in the 5 minutes, I'm like, okay, wait, how much is it? I'm getting my credit card while I'm speaking. You give me just a moment. I didn't even know how much the thing was. That all came from a subject line of an email. That's how powerful it is. I'm going to share something. I don't know that you even know this. This is way back when my email address was terslp@aol.com. It's a long time ago. I sent out an email to my very small list back then. I maybe had 100 people. I was brand new in the industry. And it had the person's name. So it would say, Andy, call me. It didn't say anything else. There was nothing. It was a headline. It was an experiment. Well, I never sent that email again because my phone rang off the hook in the body of it was my phone number. And so people want to help. So I'd get calls and I'd say, hey, Terry, you said to call you. Is everything okay? Is there something you need? Can I do something? And that's when I was asking my one result question. I got so many responses. My conversations were a couple of minutes and it was a game changer. I tell people when they're brand new, they're like, not enough people are giving me the answer to the one result question. That was my little secret email and it made a big difference. I will tell you that Andy wrote some emails for us recently and we haven't shared the statistics yet. One of them is beyond crushing it. Like the results are amazing. I'm not sharing that for another week because we still are getting responses every day.
That's great.
It's awesome.
Wow.
It's awesome.
This made my day. Thank you.
I'm glad. You being here made my day. So how can people best connect with you? How do they know that if they might be a good fit? You want to tell us that?
Sure. Well, they can go to my website, andyobrien.com, or they can just book a call with me. I'm doing, 30-minute website reviews. I've been doing these for years.
Yes.
And I can put it's just bookandy.as.me, but I can put it in the comments on here. I'd love for people to join my challenge. We're in the next, like today, I'm doing a call, like I said, in a little bit here. But there's another challenge call tomorrow. Tons of files and stuff in that challenge that they can go and pull from. And they can watch the recordings from yesterday. So the challenge to sign up or just get in there is just go to getyouremailsdone.com.
Oh, what a great title. Nice long tail.
Yeah. So, and when my group launches, I'd love to give that a plug. And that's going to be Heart Center Persuasion. they can go in there now, but it's just not too active, but it's going to be very soon.
Awesome.
So thank you for allowing me to do that and do my shameless plugs.
How could I not? This is how I feel when I come across anyone who is high value and makes a big difference in the world and is a genuine, caring, and loving person. I have to share. And it's just like, if you go to a good movie or you eat some good food at a restaurant, you tell people. I always go on Facebook. I'm like, oh my God, this food is amazing. So when I find someone like you, and Andy, really, you are a rare gem. I feel so blessed that we've been together for decades and we're going to continue this friendship. You create a ton of value. I can tell when a client is working with you in some way, shape, or form. I can tell because I'm on all my clients' email lists. I'm like, is Andy helping? Yes. So I encourage people to connect with you. I will tell you that Andy is the real deal. We don't have a joint venture. We don't have an affiliate. I actually said, Andy, will you come? Will you create some value here? Because I feel that this is something that every business owner really needs, and you're the go-to guy. Any last words?
Yeah, Terry. I mean, it's just of appreciation for you and what you're doing to help people, and just such an honor to know and be your friend, and just thanks for having me on and for exposing some of the things that I do and know to your group, and it's just great to be part of it. So.
And then just to make mention, I know Velma, who does a lot of lives in our Entrepreneur group, she had some trouble with StreamYard connecting. And this is my first time having the same trouble. So for those of you who came on a little bit late because it wasn't started in the group, I shared it from my Facebook page to the group. You might have missed the first 3 to 5 minutes, which are really important. So I encourage you to go back and watch, use the hashtag replay so we know you saw it all. And then post any comments. We can't look at comments while on StreamYard. However, we want to help you. So just go ahead and post any comments, and both Andy and I will be responding. Thank you, Andy. Much love.
Thank you, Terry.
See you
Love
soon.
you too. Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye.